Meteorologist Casey Clouds live here in the Weather Center on this Thursday, July 3rd, 2025, tracking a severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Suwannee and Columbia counties here into north central Florida till 6:15. Seeing some wind enhancement within this here as we're looking at things. I know at 5:42 a severe thunderstorm was looking in the vicinity of Live Oak, moving south at only 5 miles an hour. So an official rainfall producer for sure. Live Oak, Wellborn, McAlpin, and Houston there in toward that vicinity. Tracking the potential for some damage and wind gusts. This got to remain, alert for these rapidly changing weather conditions. There's also a lot of lightning, as you can tell. As we're looking on the lightning tracker, you can see all that electrical energy here. I know just got to, be on the lookout here for some damage to roof side and trees. That's definitely a possibility as we're looking at things here this evening. Just got to be careful. And a lot of folks on the roads here because of the 4th of July weekend here and the like. Excuse me, as we continue along. I know we're just trying to keep you guys informed on the situation. Let me go ahead and see if I can pull some traffic cameras up toward I-10 there in that vicinity right now. Just bear with me here. I'm going to go ahead and try to get a look here at the scenario, a visual here from the skies, and just kind of a look there out, out the window there and the like. Again, just trying to keep you guys up to date. Let me go ahead and see what else I can pull up. Excuse me. As we go ahead and keep giving you guys the very latest here on the situation. Let me go ahead and try to get some of those traffic camera views up. We'll take a look at I-10. That's where some of the trouble is right now here with the torrential downpours, that lightning there, a storyline as we're tracking things, as we're monitoring the situation. You can see a mile marker 290 here. Definitely kind of telling that story to some degree. A lot of that precip here, there's torrential downpours and the like. Just trying to keep you guys up to date. You see all that water on the roadway there and the like. This is a Florida 511 perspective on what's happening there right now. I'll go ahead and move away from this and we'll go back to the Doppler. I know we're just trying to keep our eyes on everything that's going on. There was one wind report earlier. We didn't have any of the warnings today, but there was a wind report in Putnam County north of Interlochen. Apparently several trees, they were knocked down there on the north side of Interlochen. That's around 3:30 this afternoon, so that's noteworthy. I know as we're getting toward the 4th of July now, we're really trying to make sure we're, getting even a little bit more, in terms of looking here at the Doppler perspective. Just trying to give you guys the very latest here on what's going on. We want to make sure we're giving you guys the very latest on the situation here, as we're monitoring things here, because there's so many people are going to be outside and the like here with all the different events that are coming on up. I know right now, looking at PowerEdit.US's map here for electrical outages, 77 customers in the dark right now. In Columbia County, 9, in Suwannee County, 111, in Madison County. So, just continuing to give you the latest. In Marion County, 1,210, Putnam County, 53. So, just trying to give you an idea on some of that information. You see some of that wind on the velocity, some of those brighter reds, indicative of some stronger winds here. So, you just got to be very mindful of that as we're looking at the situation. So, again, just trying to keep you guys safe and informed here on what is happening on the different environmental problems here in terms of the weather that's impacting your different areas here within the region. I know it's just important to try to stay on top of the inclement weather here and the like. And maybe a little bit of weak rotation here to the southwest of Wellborn. We'll continue to kind of monitor this here to see how things evolve. Just kind of see how the situation develops here. You know, the rapidly evolving one, obviously. I'm just trying to kind of give you guys the very latest on exactly what, you know, is happening in the different communities here on this Thursday, on this July 3rd, 2025. It is so imperative to just be watching the weather here. You know, when you have all these outdoor events planned and the like, you need to be weather aware here with the rapidly changing conditions. I know the worst of the winds are probably just to the south of where the cameras really are in general, and also to the west of the 75 camera, the I-75 cameras. But, you know, that puts the worst of the wind there, just south, maybe Wellborn, just east of McAlpin here, you know, south of I-10, west of I-75, which is at least a little bit of good news in that it's not quite as many folks being impacted, maybe, with everybody on the interstates for the 4th of July, but there's still going to be some folks that could be getting some pretty hazardous weather out here as we're looking at some of these brighter pixels here on the Doppler perspective. Again, I'm just trying to give you guys the very latest here on what's going on. You see northwest of Jacksonville, some lightning there. You have around Waycross there, some lightning in that area whenever thunder roars go indoors, whether there's a warning or not. The only warning is down in here as we're looking at things toward the Swanee River Valley and toward, you know, really parts of north central Florida as we're kind of checking things here. We're just trying to give you guys the very latest on the situation here, on the scenario. It's just so important to do that here, obviously. And we have this warning that's in play till 6:15, another 14 minutes here with this severe thunderstorm warning. We just got to keep on watching, keep on tracking. I know we're going to be looking at that extended outlook here as we're tracking things here in toward the weather center. Let me go ahead and pull up some model guidance here because that's important forecast for that for tomorrow. You know, it is in a little bit of doubt, though. I will say that there's a decent chance a lot of us will stay, you know, dry tomorrow based on some of the latest guidance, but not everybody. Some folks will have problems. We'll have, you know, kind of hit and miss acts, and we have that area that could develop up the East Coast as we look ahead. Shouldn't really develop over us to the west. That's good news, obviously, as we're looking at things, as we're tracking things. I know some of that development here, you know, maybe happening a little bit, you know, more so, you know, with the tropical accent toward the east here. But let me go ahead and jump to other source as we continue to watch. It's 2 p.m. tomorrow, 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5, 6, 7. Looks like maybe some more type of wind and rain, you know, and lightning to be more likely to the south. The lightning tracker for current is on, but toward the south is where the more, you know, maybe more intense accent and more widespread accent could be according to the model guidance. And as we get in toward that Saturday, you see early part of the day, not too much, but then as we get in the afternoon, we see some convection here, maybe with a system more, you know, organized off toward the east. So have to watch that, obviously. I know there's our current warning still, and we're still tracking that till 6:15 locally. I know I just saw a warning pop up way in north, you know, parts here of the country and in the northeast in New Jersey. There's now a destructive severe thunderstorm up in that direction, which obviously is not good. It's very unusual as we're looking towards some of those communities. And a 70-mile-an-hour winds possible in Union County, New Jersey, Richmond County, New York. But as we look here in the grand scheme of things, I know we're just going to keep on tracking here. There's a destructive storm toward areas there, more like around Plainfield right now. I know warning further east, indicates the potential as that moves in, but right now already further west, there's destructive weather with numerous trees being knocked down southwest of New York City. This is not headed, it doesn't seem directly into New York City proper, but still a lot of folks being impacted. This is something they're not accustomed to and tourists in town up there. So that's a destructive storm, destructive situation there in parts of New Jersey, and even, just right there bordering on New York. But as we go ahead and get back to that local view right now, you see how warm it is toward Tallahassee, Albany. They haven't really seen the storm accent here so much. Getting warmer out there, less cloud cover out toward the north and the west within our 62 counties. But I know we're just going to keep on tracking the weather situation, obviously. Keep on giving you guys the very latest on what's happening across the 62 counties. I did not mean to pull that old video up there, but let me go ahead and pull in here a coverage map as we're kind of looking at the situation. Let me go ahead and say here, Bradford County, that's where we're at, and we're always watching things for the 62 counties here across the region. We're always operating tornado warning storms as we give you guys the very latest on exactly what is happening. I know we have Facebook there, KC Cloud Every X, Facebook Cloud Weather, Twitter /X at Cloud KC, YouTube at Cloud Weather, Twitch Cloud Weather, cloudweather.com, giving you guys the very latest on exactly what's going on. On cloudweather.com, we have the interactive radar available. That's very important, obviously. When we're not on the air, you can see where things are. And we'll try to have radar up a little bit more than normal tomorrow on that 4th of July because of all those outdoor plans and the potential for some of those to be impacted here by these nasty storms. In some cases, other cases rain. Other cases, maybe not anything too crazy, but still a few lightning strikes is enough. You have to get inside for a little while when thunder orders go indoors. So, as we go ahead and continue to give you guys the very latest, I know we have some significant weather advisories in some of these different backyards, and as we're looking at things here, I know they just cleared out Columbia County out of that severe thunderstorm warning, but they're continuing for Suwannee County, not too far from Live Oak, and that accident moving south at 5 miles an hour. Live Oak, Wellborn, McAlpin, and Houston still under that warning. You just got to continue to stay weather aware here as that continues to 6:15. See all that rain there over the last 12 hours. Not all of this, obviously falling at once, but a lot of it falling in the more recent hours here as we're looking toward parts of Dixie County, over 5 inches here south of Cross City. And that orange area, according to radar estimates, but a lot of spots not getting too much. You see Marion County there just south of Ocala. Some spots getting over, looks like about 3-4 inches down in here. North side of Bellevue, even in Bellevue, a few inches, really. And then as we go ahead and look here towards southwestern St. Johns County, spots with a few inches around Bradford County. We've had some rain. East of Stark on my rain gauge, about a ½ inch. That's exactly what it's showing, a ½ inch there for today. So again, that's kind of, ton of story. A lot of that here just in the last little bit. That accent there. We had some torrential rainfall moving on through and causing some heavy rain to fall, accumulate there, wet the ground a little bit. We need the rain, but I know holiday plans, this can be disruptive here at times, disruptive downpours. The thunderstorms obviously can be, even with the lightning, could be even a little more dangerous than that. When you have a severe thunderstorm, that means there's a wind potential that's escalated as well. That's what we have right now in Suwannee County there toward areas in and around Live Oak. The worst that maybe was we pinpointed a little south of Live Oak proper, but still not, that great there in Live Oak. As we go ahead and keep looking at things, let me switch to the closer radar, the Moody one. Get a little bit better wind sample in here down toward the surface. You can see south of Wellborn there, about 40-mile-an-hour winds. You can see that we're just going to continue to watch around areas near Live Oak there. You see some wind enhancement as well just east there of US 129 especially, so we have to kind of pay attention to that. You know, the worst is south of I-10, but still a little bit of I-10 included in the warning here. You know, a small sliver there. You know, as we're looking, some of that closer towards some things people may go to, other spots, so, you know, the worst, maybe staying away from those, but nonetheless, just continue to watch things, continuing to track. See parts of Columbia County there, some wind enhancement, northwest of Olustee. Nothing else is warned around right now, but see some strong, you know, wind enhancement there northeast of Waycross even. See some winds about 30, 40 miles an hour possibly there. Waycross Blacks here in that, you know, spot. That vicinity as we're tracking things, as we're monitoring things. As as we look ahead, people are going to be trying to attend those fireworks shows and the like. That's got to be very careful here with these storms, because at points, you know, you could have Mother Nature's fireworks instead being that prominent story as we're kind of tracking things, we're kind of monitoring things. I know it's the Marion County right now. We have some lightning and wind enhancement between, looks like Sadie and Bellevue, give or take. As we continue to give you guys the very latest, there's not special weather statement for parts of Charlton County just popping up as well. Again, we'll watch some of that wind enhancement there northwest of St. George. You know, that's something to monitor, obviously. Let me go to that stuff in New Jersey, though, real quick. I want to see how bad that looks on velocity. It looks pretty bad out there. Some very highly popular areas on the national level. As we're tracking things, as we're monitoring things. Winds to 70 maybe coming toward Newark, New Jersey's terminal radar. You know, so it's not what you want. That's an airport. That's going to cause problems there around Newark, New Jersey. And that's a very serious wind signature to be that low down to the ground. That could cause some big problems there in the Newark, New Jersey area here on the national level for those travel plans. You know, it's a destructive situation. The Philadelphia office updating some warnings and the like. They are very concerned about what could happen there in this vicinity. This is something you rarely see. Could have hurricane force gusts moving on through there. Very clear signature even on the airport radar there. That's significant and very concerning. But as we get back closer to home now, we're just going to keep on looking at things here, obviously. Keep on tracking them. Keep on trying to give you guys the very latest on what's happening. We're just trying to stay on top of everything the best we can. Just try to stay on top of things the best we can here. I don't know if they're going to extend this warning. I kind of doubt it. You know, based on what I'm seeing, I don't think there's quite enough there to extend unless they're getting some damage reports that I haven't seen yet. There's quite a bit of lightning, good amount of wind, but maybe not quite to 60, which is the criteria to extend this warning. The west of Lake City here, and, you know, Live Oak southward, especially south, is where we're seeing the worst of the winds are, but still be very careful in and around Live Oak with all that lightning and the heavy downpours in play. I mean, you're not going to tell that much of a difference here if you're underneath the storm, probably. You know, if you're in Live Oak, parts of the area not in the warning, versus where you're under the warning, it's just a matter of just higher damage potential within the yellow box. But again, I'm going to continue to track things here. I know some parts of our area staying drier, like toward Tallahassee, toward Albany here. I know that's better, but it is warmer. So it's a give and take, but you don't have the electrical energy around. It's more about staying cool toward Albany, toward Tallahassee versus Live Oak. And in areas in Suwannee County, that warning continuing here. We have other areas where we have lightning. So the Marion, parts of Columbia, parts of Charlton, parts of Ware, and getting there, you know, further into towards southeast Georgia as well, like in Pierce County. You know, Blacks here, there, getting some lightning for sure. So I'm going to continue to watch this. I'm going to continue to track it. trying to give you the latest. Just trying to check every different scan here. Okay, special weather statement for Columbia County on 7. It's this area right here, I believe. It's popped in. See some wind enhancement near I-10 there. As we're tracking things, as we're monitoring them. We're just checking all these different scans. It's staying pretty dry right now around Bradford County. You know, earlier on that wasn't the case. Had that lightning around, that rain around. It wasn't severe, but I know Putnam County, North Interlochen, we didn't have a warning, but it ended up being damaging, it seems. Some trees knocked down there. You know, once you get some of this, you know, cooling air in, sometimes that can reduce your thunderstorm and your severe threat. But I know we're down to 75 degrees here. It's just dark. That's pretty nice. I mean, gotta watch out for some mosquitoes and the like as you're looking ahead in the timeline. And if you're not worried about that, you're, you know, as we look ahead in the days to come, we don't, you know, get enough rain and you start to worry about the drought potential, you know, becoming worse again depending on where you are within the coverage areas. So it's a give and take for sure. That warning does not seem to be on the screen anymore at 6:15, so I'll see if they extend it out. I don't think they will at this point. You know, I thought they might issue an advisory to replace it though, but I'm not sure if they'll even do that here. I kind of think they would issue an advisory, but we'll see. Give another minute or two, and if we don't see anything else pop up, we'll wrap it on up. Again, thanks so much for tuning in and trusting me. We'll be back with our formal update here later tonight as we continue to give you guys the very latest on what's going on. I know we have that area of spin that we're going to be trying to see if it'll develop. You see the winds in different directions here at points. That's noteworthy, obviously, as we try to give you guys the very latest on exactly what's going on. You can see all that cloud cover to the east versus what we have to the west. I mean, I can even say that to you on the visible satellite, and that tells that story as well. We have, you know, not only my supercell composite around, but we have the energy around. You see that, especially in that purple zone. You know, that's where, depending on how things can get going, you know, with the right, you know, boundary interactions, or wrong ones really, if you know, you don't want the storms. So, you know, we call them the wrong interactions, but I mean, generally you don't want the storms, but as I back this up, I mean, we do need rain still in some spots, but we have quite a bit of energy out there still in parts of the area in the reds and purples, but, you know, that can be an area where you have more storm development, but it takes different triggers here in the atmosphere to get them, so we'll just continue to watch. With some development, I'm seeing this here. I just wonder if that can get us that together, because it is in an environment with a lot of energy, but sometimes there could be other mitigating factors as well. So, we have a general thunderstorm risk for most of the area today, except for like Quitman County, and, you know, as we're looking at toward Randolph County and the like parts of that zone at least. But we're going to keep watching, we're going to keep tracking. We're going to wrap it for now, though. We'll be back on here as conditions warrant, if conditions warrant again. So I know we're watching that weather up in New Jersey as well, toward Newark, New Jersey, that could be a problem with some wind damage in that vicinity as we were looking on that Doppler perspective. So, you know, that's the storyline in of itself as we're looking there, as we were looking toward that radar site anyway. So again, that's something to kind of keep in mind. You know, we have stuff in like Louisiana, we have though in New Jersey, you know, they're having some of that concern there. You know, at Newark, New Jersey, it's a little confusing, but the actual airport there and the city, not so much, but it's toward the radar site. The terminal radar site is where the issue is. Now, that's kind of confusing, to be quite honest, but I'll show that to you here on our other view. This is the radar site at, you know, the Newark, New Jersey a site there. Look at all that wind. That is very low down. Don't see that very often, but the terminal radar for New York, New Jersey there. Newark, New Jersey proper is kind of confusing with the international airports up here, and they're not getting it, but there's some more of the different facilities there getting into the wind enhancements. So, again, just continue to track all that here. And we're going to go ahead and wrap it for now. I hope you guys stay safe. We're back on later tonight, obviously, as we give you guys the very latest information here to protect you, your friends, and your family. I'm just trying to see what else I can pull one up here in the Weather Center. See if there's anything else I need to pull up. I think that's going to do it. I'm just checking if there's any questions on YouTube real quick. Any comments? Don't see anything there, so we're going to wrap it. Stay tuned, stay safe. I'll be back here either later tonight or before then as required, of course, as conditions warrant.